Have you ever wondered why Taurus walks so slowly, yet still makes the whole world pause? Because within you lives a power that makes no noise, an ancient gift granted through absolute trust. Today, we gently open the door to 20 talents that God has given only to Taurus. And stay until the very end. Talent number 1 is not only unexpected, but touches the deepest meaning of being human. Before we begin, leave your zodiac sign and birth date in the comments below. I read every line as if listening to a soul introducing itself. Reason 20. The power of calm entrusted by God. When God created Taurus, He did not give them haste. He gave them calm, a form of strength so rare that even a chaotic world must slow in its presence. Taurus does not panic when everything collapses. When others run, Taurus stands still. Not because they feel no fear, but because their soul understands this truth. Every storm will pass, and only those who remain standing will still be there. This is not indifference. It is a deep faith in the sacred order of life. God gifted Taurus the ability to keep their heartbeat slower than the world. Amid the noise, Taurus carries a healing silence, enough for others to lean on, enough for fear to soften its voice. Have you ever been beside a Taurus when you were exhausted? Simply by being there, everything begins to settle. That is a miracle that needs no words. This calm is born from loyalty to true emotion. Taurus does not betray themselves to please the storm. They allow themselves to feel slowly, honestly, without force. And it is this that keeps them from shattering. Perhaps the greatest lesson Taurus offers humanity is this. Peace is not the escape from pain, it is the strength to stay with it until it dissolves. That is quiet power. That is the gift God dares to place only in the hands of souls steady enough to hold it. Reason 19. The ability to build destiny from sacred ground. God did not give Taurus instant miracles. He gave them hands capable of building an entire life from nothing. Taurus was not born to soar from the beginning. They were born to root deeply. While the world rushes to find shortcuts, Taurus chooses the long road, the road with earth beneath the feet, with sweat, with waiting, with unwavering faith. Every brick Taurus lays carries emotion. They build with loyalty to their dreams, with patience that does not seek applause, with endurance few ever notice. And because of this, what Taurus creates does not easily collapse. God knows not every soul can endure slowness. So He chose Taurus, those strong enough not to lose heart when results have yet to appear. Taurus understands that the most enduring things often arrive last. There are days Taurus feels weary. There are nights they doubt themselves. But they do not abandon the foundation because of a passing wind. They stay, repair each crack, continue building, continue believing. And then one day, when others look on and ask, how did they do that? The answer is always simple. Taurus never betrayed the process. This is not merely the talent to build material things. It is the ability to build a life that does not collapse under adversity, a sacred gift reserved for souls loyal to their own path. Reason 18. Emotional strength as deep as the earth. God gifted Taurus a heart that feels profoundly, wrapped in a thick layer of calm earth. Taurus is not loud with emotion. They hold it. They nurture it. They allow it to grow into strength. While many fear emotion, believing it makes us weak, Taurus understands the opposite. Only those who are strong enough dare to feel. They allow themselves to be sad, allow themselves to love, allow themselves to be wounded, yet they do not let emotion pull them into free fall. They stand steady inside their own emotional world. God gave Taurus this gift because He knew not every soul can carry heavy weight without breaking. Taurus carries pain the way one carries seeds, burying them in the soil, allowing them one day to bloom into understanding. You will rarely see Taurus reveal everything, but when they love, that love stays for a very long time. When they grieve, the sorrow is deep and grounded, never toxic. It transforms into compassion, into the ability to listen to others without judgment. Perhaps each of us has once wished, in the middle of an emotional storm, to possess the steadiness of Taurus, not denying the heart, yet not letting the heart command everything. That is the lesson Taurus quietly teaches the world. Emotion is not the enemy. When held with care, it becomes the root of strength. Reason 17. Loyalty written in a silent vow. When God created Taurus, He carved into their soul a vow that never needed words. To stay with the one they love, to stay with what they believe in, to stay on the path they have chosen. Taurus loyalty is never performative. It does not rely on grand promises. It reveals itself through the smallest acts: steady presence, quiet protection, patience that keeps no score. And because of this, it becomes sacred. God gave Taurus this gift because He knew the world is full of people who come and go, but very few who remain when things grow difficult. Taurus is among that rare few. They do not leave simply because they are tired. They do not turn away because of trials. When Taurus chooses you, they choose with their entire soul. They endure. They wait. They believe sometimes longer than necessary because to them, connection is not something to be used and discarded. But this loyalty is not weakness. When Taurus walks away, it means they have been emptied to the last drop. And this happens rarely, because they have already given so much. Perhaps the deepest lesson here is this: loyalty is not a chain. Loyalty is a choice repeated each day, even when no one is watching. And Taurus, with their enduring, earth-bound heart, is living proof of love that does not betray. Reason 16. A will that does not bend before fate. God did not give Taurus impulsiveness. He gave them a will that refuses to bend, no matter how fiercely life tests them. Taurus does not rebel against fate. They walk through it, step by step, slow, heavy, but never stopping. While others collapse under the weight of waiting, Taurus turns waiting into strength. They understand that not every door opens with a loud knock. Some doors only open when one is patient enough to stand before them long enough. The will of Taurus is quiet. It does not seek proof. It lives in mornings where they rise again, though yesterday was exhausting, in moments of disappointment without surrender, in staying with the path they chose, even when no one applauds. God gave Taurus this gift because He knew the world needs souls who do not chase the spotlight, but are steady enough to keep the fire alive in the dark. Taurus does not need to be faster than others. They only need not to turn back. And perhaps the silent lesson Taurus leaves for humanity is this: true willpower does not shout. It whispers each day, "I am still here." Reason 15. The strength to stay when others walk away. There is a gift that God grants to only a very few souls. It is the ability to stay when everything becomes difficult. Taurus does not love halfway, does not live halfway. When they commit, they anchor themselves. Not out of fear of loss, but because they believe in the value of walking together through the storm. In a world accustomed to leaving, Taurus chooses patience. God knows that lasting love does not require many promises. It requires enduring presence. And He trusts Taurus to be strong enough to carry that weight. Taurus does not walk away when things become inconvenient. They stay, repair, wait, and give goodness more time to arrive. But this does not make them weak. On the contrary, only those with great inner strength dare to stay when wounds are still unhealed. Taurus understands this. Some relationships do not need to be perfect, they only need not to be abandoned. Perhaps each of us has once wished, in our most fragile moment, to have someone like Taurus beside us, not promising salvation, only quietly saying, "I am still here." This cried. And it is precisely this staying, simple yet sacred, that is one of the greatest gifts God has sent into the world through the form of Taurus. Reason 14. The ability to heal through presence. God did not give Taurus flowery words to soothe others. He gave them presence, a kind of healing that requires no explanation. Taurus enters someone's life very quietly, but simply by being there, the space changes. Breathing slows. Worries soften their voice. Not because Taurus has answers to every problem, but because they do not leave when others are falling apart. God knows that some wounds do not need advice, only someone steady enough to sit beside them. And Taurus is a soul who can do that without fear. They are not uncomfortable with tears. They do not avoid pain. They allow others to hurt fully in safety. Taurus's healing comes from loyalty to real emotion. They do not force anyone to be okay. They allow the process to unfold at its own pace. And it is this respect that helps others slowly recover. Perhaps we have grown used to hurried encouragement, but Taurus reminds us that sometimes the most healing thing is not saying everything will be fine, but quietly staying until it truly is. Reason 13. The ability to turn pain into soul depth. God did not protect Taurus from pain. He gave them the ability to walk through pain without losing themselves. Taurus feels deeply, but they do not let pain turn into bitterness. They hold it, contemplate it, and allow it to thicken the soul. Each scratch becomes a new layer of soil. Each loss, a deeper root growing into maturity. God chose Taurus for this gift because not everyone is steadfast enough to remain soft after being hurt. Taurus is soft in a resilient way, soft enough to understand, soft enough to forgive, yet never dissolving. You rarely see Taurus recount their own pain, but you feel it in how they listen to you longer, in their non-judgmental silence, in the look that says, "I know that feeling. Be still." Perhaps the deepest lesson Taurus leaves behind is this: pain does not make us weaker, avoiding it is what makes us fragile. Taurus lives as proof that a soul tested by hardship, if it does not betray itself, becomes steadier than anything else. Reason 12. The wisdom of silence. God did not create Taurus to speak much. He created them to listen, and within that listening lies a wisdom words cannot reach. Taurus understands that not every moment requires a response. Sometimes, silence is the deepest form of respect for another's emotions. In a noisy world, Taurus carries a quiet wide enough for truth to reveal itself. The silence of Taurus is not avoidance. It is a conscious choice. They observe before speaking, feel before acting. And when Taurus does speak, their words carry weight because they have passed through reflection, experience, and loyalty to what is right. God granted this gift to Taurus because he knows steady souls do not need to prove their wisdom. They allow the world to slow to their rhythm. Taurus reminds us that not everyone who speaks little is empty. Some speak little because inside they are full. Perhaps each of us has longed for someone like this beside us, not interrupting, not rushing, simply there, listening all the way through. That is the quiet wisdom Taurus brings into the world. Reason 11. The ability to hold one's values steady amid change. God did not give Taurus the ability to adapt by losing themselves. He gave them the steadiness of core values, something that is not swept away by the tides of time. When the world changes its colors, Taurus still knows what is real. They do not chase trends just to be accepted. They choose to slow down and ask themselves, is this true for me? It's coming of Pos Black, and it is that honesty that sometimes leaves them feeling out of place but never hollow. God trusts Taurus to be strong enough not to betray their own soul for short-term gain. They keep their word. They keep their principles. They remain loyal to what they have chosen even when it is no longer easy. In moments of trial, Taurus becomes an anchor for others, because in chaos, everyone needs something unchanging to hold on to. And Taurus, through their endurance, reminds us that true values do not need applause, they need protection. Perhaps the greatest lesson here is this: the world may change every day, but a soul that keeps its values will never lose its way. Reason 10. The intuition of Earth, a wordless understanding. God gave Taurus a kind of intuition that is not loud, not a lightning strike, not a fleeting hunch, but the deep knowing of the earth, quiet and precise. Taurus feels with their whole body. They know before there is evidence. They sense what is out of rhythm in a sentence, hear what is unspoken in a silence. This intuition does not come from suspicion, but from loyal connection to true emotion. Taurus does not distort their inner knowing to please anyone. They honor it the way they honor their own heartbeat. God chose Taurus for this gift because he knows there are paths that cannot be seen with the eyes. In a world full of illusions, Taurus carries an inner compass always pointing toward what endures. When they slow down, intuition opens. When they listen, truth walks in on its own. The intuition of Taurus is also a healing force. They know when to stay close, when to step back. They feel when someone needs words, and when someone only needs another presence beside them. This subtlety makes others feel safe, like being set gently back on solid ground after a long journey. The lesson Taurus whispers to life is this: not every truth needs proof. Some things, if we are steady enough to listen, the heart will show the way. Reason 9. Unwavering loyalty. The sacred thread between souls. God did not give Taurus fleeting affection. He gave them loyalty that does not waver, a sacred thread tied only after the soul has chosen. When Taurus places trust in someone, it is never a light decision. They observe, they wait, they feel for a long time, and once they choose, they stay. Not because they fear loneliness, but because they understand the value of walking together to the end. Loyalty for Taurus is not a grand vow. It is made of ordinary days, still showing up, still protecting, still believing. God entrusted this gift to Taurus because he knows loyalty requires great emotional strength. It requires forgiveness when leaving would be easier, patience when giving up would be simpler, and faith in people even when they are not yet perfect. Taurus has the inner reserves to do this without losing themselves. The loyalty of Taurus is also a healing medicine. Beside them, others relearn the feeling of being chosen not for brilliance, but for essence, of being stayed with, not for convenience, but for reverence. And in a fragmented world, this becomes sacred. The deepest lesson here is this: loyalty does not bind freedom. Loyalty is the freedom to choose to stay every day with the whole heart. Reason 8. A field of peace. A magnetism that needs no name. God did not give Taurus a noisy charm. He gave them a field of peace, an energy that draws others close without effort. Taurus does not try to attract attention. They simply exist as themselves, and that authenticity creates a very rare pull. When Taurus enters a space, the pace of life slows, masks fall away. Others breathe out more softly, as if finally permitted to be who they are. This field is born from inner harmony. Taurus does not fight their emotions. They accept them, tend to them, and keep them steady. That steadiness radiates like solid ground beneath the feet, like a warm lamp through a long night. God gave this gift because the world needs souls who do not exhaust us further, but allow us to rest. The magnetism of Taurus is also a healing power. They do not pull others toward themselves. They open a space where others can step in safely. No judgment, no hurry, no demands. Only a full and grounded presence. The lesson Taurus offers is this: you do not need to shine to be loved. Sometimes, peace itself is the light. Reason 7. Emotional protective power. The invisible shield. God bestowed upon Taurus a shield that cannot be seen. It is the ability to protect emotions, their own and those of the ones they love. Taurus does not lay their heart bare before every gaze. They choose carefully. They keep boundaries. Not because they are cold, but because they understand. Emotions are sacred, not something to be trampled upon. This shield helps them avoid being swept into the emotional chaos of others, while still preserving the warmth that is necessary. God gave this gift to Taurus because he knows only souls strong enough know how to protect without closing the door. Taurus knows when to open their heart, when to step back. They do not allow negativity to invade, yet they do not let their heart turn to stone. This is emotional wisdom at a very deep level. That shield also protects others. When you are beside Taurus, you feel sheltered not through promises, but through steady actions. They stand in front of what causes harm, quietly carrying part of the burden so you may have peace. The silent lesson here is: protecting emotions does not create distance. It allows love the space to endure. Reason 6. A will of steel forged in silence. God did not give Taurus a will that burns fiercely. He gave them a will forged in silence, slow, heavy, yet impossible to break. Taurus does not rush toward goals like a storm. They move forward like lava, quiet, enduring, and unstoppable. When others give up from exhaustion, Taurus continues because they made a promise to themselves, not to prove anything, but because they do not betray the path they have chosen. God knows that great trials do not require loud souls, but souls that can endure time. Taurus carries a rare capacity for endurance. They accept delay, accept hardship, accept moving one step at a time as long as the direction is true. This will is also healing. It teaches Taurus how to stand firm before fear, how to keep going when motivation has run dry. And that very persistence becomes a refuge for others, living proof that strength does not always need to shout. The lesson Taurus leaves behind for the world is, true willpower does not come from excitement, but from commitment repeated each day. Reason 5. The ability to go all the way a vow with destiny. There is a gift that God grants only to very few souls. It is the ability to go all the way. Taurus does not abandon things halfway. When they choose a dream, a person, or a promise, they carry it far through exhaustion, through doubt, through moments when it feels like there is nothing left to give. Not because they do not know how to stop, but because they believe in the value of completion. God gave this gift to Taurus because he knows the world is full of brilliant beginnings, but painfully short of wholehearted endings. Taurus is the one who stays to close the circle gently, honorably, leaving no chaos behind. The ability of Taurus to go all the way is nurtured by loyalty and emotional strength. They do not leave when feelings change. They stay to tend those feelings until they ripen. This does not trap them, it gives their journey meaning. The deep lesson here is, going all the way is not stubbornness. Going all the way is honoring what you chose with your whole heart. Reason 4. Quiet alchemy, turning wounds into a place to stand. God did not give Taurus an easy road. Instead, he gave them the gift of quiet transformation, the ability to turn what hurts into something that helps them stand more firmly. Taurus does not shed their skin loudly. They change from the inside, very slowly, very deeply. Every wound that passes leaves a mark, but not to remind them of weakness, rather, to teach them how to understand others more deeply, understand life more fully, and understand themselves more honestly. This transformation does not pull Taurus away from their heart. It thickens the heart, gives it depth and strength. God bestowed this gift because he knew there are souls not born to escape pain, but to carry pain through the light. Taurus does not rush healing. They allow themselves to move through it completely, to feel sad enough, to miss enough, to be tired enough, and then rise with a gentler, newly softened strength. It is this very transformation that makes Taurus a place others are drawn to. Because when you say, "I'm hurting," Taurus does not panic. They know how to sit with you, slowly, patiently, until the pain is no longer so sharp. Not everyone can do this, because not everyone is steady enough to stop running from their own darkness. The lesson Taurus leaves behind is this: true transformation does not turn us into someone else. It helps us become a steadier version of who we already are. Reason 3. The enduring heart, the ability to love without losing oneself. God gave Taurus a heart that can love for a very long time. Not the most feverish love, but the most enduring. Taurus does not love to test. They love to build. They enter relationships with the awareness that love requires time, care, and even imperfect days. And they do not walk away simply because emotions rise and fall. The Taurus heart knows how to wait, but not how to blindly sacrifice itself. God granted them this ability because he understands that loving without losing oneself is a rare emotional strength. Taurus holds boundaries while remaining warm. They give, but they do not dissolve. They stay, but they do not disappear from themselves. This balance is learned through lived experience, not theory. Beside Taurus, others feel loved in a way that is safe, not demanded to become someone else, not pulled too fast, simply allowed to be themselves and to grow together. And perhaps, in a world that loves quickly and leaves just as fast, this becomes something profoundly precious. The deeper lesson here is this: love is not the act of dissolving yourself. Love is keeping yourself whole, so love has a place to stay for a long time. Reason 2. The wisdom of enoughness, knowing when to stop. God did not give Taurus an endless hunger. Instead, he gave them the wisdom of enoughness, the ability to know when to stop, when something is truly enough. It sighed. In a world that constantly urges people to want more, faster, higher, Taurus carries a different rhythm of life. They do not chase every desire. They listen to their body, their emotions, and their soul to recognize what truly nourishes them and what only drains them. This wisdom does not make Taurus unambitious. Quite the opposite. It allows them to choose carefully where to place their strength. Taurus does not scatter themselves. They build layer by layer career, love, life in a way that allows everything to stand firm over time. This is a kind of wealth not measured only by money, but by inner steadiness. God gave them this gift because he knew that only souls who are truly grounded can resist the pull of comparison. Taurus does not live through the gaze of others. They live by the quiet peace they feel at the end of the day, when their feet touch the ground and they know, I have lived in rhythm with my own soul. The lesson Taurus leaves behind is this. Reason 1. Becoming a place to lean on the most sacred grace. And here is the deepest reason of all. The gift God gives only to Taurus the ability to become a place to lean on. When everything collapses, Taurus does not disappear, they stay. Not to save the whole world, but to give someone a place to stand when there is nothing left to hold on to. They do not make grand promises. They simply remain steady, unwavering, not pulling away. God grants this grace to Taurus because not every soul can bear the weight of others leaning on them without breaking. To be a support, you must be steady enough not to waver, loyal enough not to leave, and emotionally strong enough to stay even when it is not easy. Taurus becomes the place others return to when they are exhausted, a shoulder that does not collapse, a ground that does not give way, a steady heartbeat in the middle of chaos. And the strange thing is, Taurus does not lose anything by being a support. They become stronger, because this is who they are at their core. Perhaps the message that rises beyond astrology is this. Steadfastness is not only personal strength, it is a gift you give to those who love you. And Taurus, through their enduring presence, reminds us that, in a changing world, being beside a soul who does not leave is a blessing. A prayer for Taurus. May this world always make room for souls who move slowly. Souls that are not loud, not showy, yet keep the ground from trembling when storms arise. May Taurus continue to walk by the rhythm of their own heart, steady, loyal, and patient enough to trust that everything arrives in its rightful time. For God did not give Taurus dazzling miracles. He gave them endurance enough to become a miracle for others. May the hands of Taurus, though marked by many scratches, remain warm enough to lift weary hearts. May the heart of Taurus, though it has loved deeply and hurt often, still keep its gentleness, never hardening, never closing.